Afternoon, everyone. They just asked me to say a few words to provide maybe some context for the issue and the need for immigration reform. I'm a part of the West Michigan Immigration Reform Coalition, have been for several years. Also was a part of the sanctuary movement in the 80s and 90s in Grand Rapids, offering political asylum to refugees leaving Guatemala and El Salvador because of political violence. We're talking about the need to reform existing governmental policies, but it's really important to think about what is it that motivates people to leave their own homes and to come to this country to begin with, whether they come through legal means or they come undocumented. There are factors that motivate them. They're not just here because they don't have anything else better to do. So that's usually not really a part of the conversation, particularly in media, about how this issue is framed. And I think there's two sort of overriding factors that sort of determine this. The first one is violence, sometimes politically motivated and otherwise for other factors as well. In Mexico, we know lots of people right now are fleeing the country because of the drug war, which is brutal. Thousands of people have been killed in different capacities because of that, and lots of people live in fear because of the violence that the drug war perpetuates. This violence also is a reality for people leaving Central America, whether it's folks who have been fighting, say, mining campaigns or other kinds of political activities. Those folks are still coming into the U.S. for those reasons. But probably the biggest reasons are economic reasons. And we know because of economic policies like the North American Free Trade Agreement and the Central American Free Trade Agreement, both NAFTA and CAFTA, that millions of people have been displaced because of those policies. In Mexico alone, over 3 million farmers have been forced off their land because they can't compete with the influx of cheap corn and other products coming from the United States because of that policy. Some of them will stay in the country and are forced to do whatever they can, whether that's selling, food on the street in places like DF. But a lot of them can't survive off that, so they end up coming into the United States. So it's just important, even though these are not the things that we're talking about, particularly in the context of reforming government policy, but it's important to sort of keep these issues, these larger issues in mind, to provide a context about the motivations, and that those are things that we eventually sort of need to sort of grapple with and come to terms with, and demand from our administration that they not only either remove those economic policies or they completely renegotiate them that take into account real justice around economic policy. Thank you.